Alright guys, welcome to the Outdoor Sports Club. I'm Gilly Sniper 300, and really quickly, hopefully quickly, I'm going to talk about shooting sideways, shooting horizontally. And we did this, me and Doc toyed around with this a little bit. I know that there's a lot of information out there on this kind of stuff. I know a lot of people do it. It's not something that I'm just an expert at, but we got to thinking about it. It was really curious how our point of impact was changing when we flipped to urban prone and shot sideways. And after a lot of thinking about it, it makes total sense why it does it. It's not that illogical. It just really seemed illogical at the time. So when you're shooting normally, you've got your target out here, and you've got your line of sight like so, and I'm not hitting my bullseye there, and you've got gravity pulling down on the bullet. So when you shoot this bullet, it's going to come up through your line of sight and back through your line of sight and drop down. Everybody knows that. That makes total sense. Okay, so what you have done is, let's say this is your zero range right here. So you have adjusted this line of sight so that it coincides with, I didn't do this right anyway, so that it coincides with that bullet impact at that range, so your bullet comes up and impacts. So when you shoot sideways, let's say we're looking down the top of this gun. Here's your scope. I hope I'm doing this in the right order. Anyway, and here's your target out here. Okay, so we're looking sideways at this gun. The ground is right here. All right, gravity's still pulling down this way, but we have adjusted our scope for when gravity's pulling down this way, and we're shooting, I don't know how to exactly, when it's oriented this way, when the ground's here and it's oriented upright vertically, we've adjusted it so that it overcomes gravity going this way. So when you're shooting this way, your line of sight is coming right down the center of this gun, but your bullet comes out the muzzle and instantly starts to drop. Alright, and if you look at this from this view, it's actually flipped in this case, the way we're looking at it. So your barrel's down here, your scope is right here. Okay, we're looking at it from the top. We're looking at it down this direction. Okay, so the scope's up here. We've adjusted and we've made this bullet travel this direction. And there's no gravity. There's no gravity now in this view right here. There's no gravity to make that bullet come back this way. So it's going to fly off that direction. And it's going to come down towards the ground. And it's going to fly off in the direction that we've adjusted. Okay, we're going to look at that in a slightly different view real quick, so that hopefully I can make this make a little bit more sense. I don't know that I'm making sense right now. Sounds great in my head. Okay, so we've got a target, we've got a target. Okay, this one we're shooting vertically, this one we're shooting horizontally. Alright, and just for the sake of this, we're going to say our scope is above our bore right here. This is our scope. And over here we're going to say that our scope is over on this side of our bore. So this is the top of our gun, this is the top of our gun. Alright, so let's say we're zeroed at this range. So here's our bullseye, and we are aimed, do this differently. This is our bullseye, and these are our crosshairs, and let's pretend they're centered up on there. So our bullet is going to come out of our muzzle, and it's going to come out somewhere down here below our line of sight, and it's going to come up through our line of sight, back down, and it's going to strike right there. So it comes up and it goes back down thanks to gravity, and assuming there's no windage. Okay, over here we've got the same target, and it's at our zero range again, and our crosshairs look much the same if we're aiming dead on. Okay, however, this is the top of our crosshair now instead of this being the top of our crosshair. So our bullet then comes out, it's adjusted to go this way. It's adjusted to go up through our line of sight. Sorry, it actually starts down here. I'm getting inconsistent. Starts down here. It comes up this way, and there's nothing to bring it back this direction. It's just going to continue traveling this way because we've adjusted to overcome gravity. However, gravity is now acting in this direction, so it's going to immediately start to do this, and it's going to continue in that direction. So even at your zero range, you are going to hit below your target, below your bullseye, below your aim point. And you are probably, let's see, you're going to hit, this is where it starts getting confusing, you're going to hit in this quadrant over here, in this case. Now if you flip that gun over, you're going to hit over in this quadrant. So you're going to have to aim somewhere up here, and I don't know exactly where, but you're going to have to aim somewhere up here. I don't really remember. It's been a couple of years since I've actually tried that, and I look forward to trying it again soon. If you're doing the old man-sized target thing, and you're at 50 yards or something like that, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be hitting, if you're aiming here, you're going to be hitting down here. If you're aiming up here, you're going to be hitting in there, whatever. If you're trying to hit a little 4-inch spot, which when we were doing this, we were shooting at some 3 to 4-inch square 22 targets, and we were missing unless we aimed right up here in this corner, I believe is where we were aiming. We were aiming right up in that corner, and we were kind of hitting down in from the center to probably the lower right quadrant. So hopefully that makes sense. Once again, I apologize if it doesn't make any sense. I hope it does. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. If you've got any further information on the subject, feel free to throw it in there. We're all here to learn anyway, and I could certainly use more expertise in this, but it kind of bewildered me, and it was really cool. The physics of it was pretty cool to me, and once I got to thinking about it, it wasn't that illogical anyway. So thanks guys for watching, and happy shooting.